Well, here it comes.
Yeah, so I was going through our comments. I got another one from just like last week. Somebody commenting on Spotify. This is from Nestor Rivera up in Oklahoma. Pretty recent listener and love the podcast and listen to it weekly now. Also subscribe to the TikTok and find it interesting how big teams prepare for weekly games. And he has his suggestion for the team of the week. We already added this, Nestor. Don't worry, I'm just reading it out for the listening audience out there. Hooker High School in Hooker, Oklahoma. He says they're a small 1A school, but they've been back-to-back state semifinalists and are looking for another run this year. Nestor, we got you added to the board, along with a couple other schools. Guys, before we really get rolling, be sure to drop your comments for your team of the week nominees. Jack, is that the refreshing sound of a hop water? All right, let's go. You got the limes there still? You didn't get a variety pack? You just got the lime?
I got the variety pack. I just reloaded the fridge, so lime's probably my favorite. So
I got you.
Pop one of it.
You noticing any extra relaxation or whatever?
I noticed some pretty good sleep.
I'm telling you, like that ashwagandha, like I'll be sleeping good, sometimes too good. We had a Thursday night game this past week, and I had me one before I went to bed. And good Lord, trying to get up at a decent time to get to the school before 7. I was like, I gotta pick and choose these wisely because I'm sleeping great.
And I'll tell you another thing. We had our meeting last Sunday. And we meet at like I think it starts at 1. And I was like, oh, I'll bring one in. I drank one at the meeting.
No, not midday.
2 hours later, I was like, I gotta go to sleep, take a nap or something. I'm dying.
Yeah. Well, like I could never do like melatonin. Like that was just something.
Yeah.
I felt like a hangover the next day if I had melatonin to help me sleep.
Yeah.
So I just always, if I was having trouble sleeping, I just kind of dealt with it and just had bad sleep. But that right amount of ashwagandha, that right hour, 2 hours before bed, like sleep real good, but I don't wake up feeling like I got hit in the head or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Yeah. Shout out to Hopwater. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Glad you're enjoying them.
I am.
We had so much fun last week, Jack. We were both running on fumes. I had a whole sticky note of stuff written down that I meant to get to last week because leading up to that last podcast we recorded, it was the last week for our junior high games with our middle schools playing. And so I just thought that'd be a fun topic to kind of get into a little bit. We're obviously a little bigger school. We actually just had the big, we call it Snapshot Day out here in Texas because every 2 years you do the realignments, right? You kind of see what the enrollments are, and there might be some shuffling and all that. And we gained, good Lord, I think 400 something students in the last 2 years. And yeah. So we're now up at like almost 2,900 students or something like that officially. So, and we've got 2 middle schools that feed into us. And, so I know you guys are the traditional, it's one middle school feeder goes to, one. Y'all got about what, 900 to 1,000 students now? Something like that?
Somewhere in there. I'm not sure. With the multiplier they put in, it's a little higher, but true enrollment is probably right around there.
I got you. But it's like the old school, like you go to elementary school, maybe you got 2 different elementary schools, right? And then everybody's going to, y'all got 3. I forgot y'all got 3.
3 to 1 to 1.
That's right. Yeah. For us in a bigger district, we've got, I don't even know how many elementary schools we have nowadays. And then we got what we call intermediate schools for certain grades. And then is junior high where it's just 7th and 8th grade. And then there's obviously the 2 high schools and our career and technology campus thing called the OC that we got and all that. And then a virtual academy, that's a whole other side note. But anyway, so I just thought it'd be an interesting topic to go through, like how y'all's middle school teams kind of operate, how their practices might be set up, when do they happen and stuff like that. And then I kind of dive into how ours work a little bit, just to try to see both sides of it, big school side, small school side. So how do you guys kind of manage or organize your junior high programs?
Yeah, so, as far as practice and everything like that, they actually run simultaneously while we're practicing after school. They have, I guess this is a new addition since you've probably been around there, but they have a separate practice field up behind the football stadium. So there's no issue sharing space or anything. They have their own space to practice, their own equipment, that kind of stuff. As far as organization, I'm not sure what they're doing throughout the day or if I know they have a weightlifting class. Not sure how many kids are in that, if it's just football or how that works. But we got a good group of coaches that are with our middle school kids that do a good job developing them, not only in football, but in their mindset, which is really appreciated because, if you got kids that don't have the right mindset when they get to high school ball, face
Yeah.
some adversity, they're going to clock out and quit, whatever. But they do a pretty good job. They actually I'm jealous because their helmets, so they have red helmets.
Okay.
They have the SMU running Mustang logo.
The running horse.
I've always loved that logo.
Yeah, it's
I
a
love the
clean look.
horseshoe too, but I think it'd be a cool switch up, but I don't think the town would really like it. But
I like the horseshoe.
I like the horseshoe. It's
Only old
classic,
fashioned.
but I like an alternate. Let's
Yeah.
throw it, switch it up, have a polo with the horse on it or something. Like just
Like we talked about before, get some of those game day skins and
yeah.
slap
Still
on
waiting for them to reach out. I'd
yeah,
love to
there you
get
go.
some. Hint, hint.
Now, how y'all's middle school teams? Back when like we went to school there, it was your 7th and 8th graders in one combined team. Is that still kind of how it operates?
Yeah,
I
it
got
is
you.
7th and 8th.
How many players would y'all say y'all run middle school wise between 2 grades on one team?
I'd probably ballpark it. I don't have the exact number. It's a pretty good, healthy number of kids. You look at
Yeah,
the sideline and it looks pretty solid. I'd say roughly 40s, 50s, maybe.
I got you. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I kind of just say all that to say, because there's probably other small schools out there that's the exact same way it works and all that. Y'all probably have, I don't know, at least 4 to 5 coaches dedicated to the junior high,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, that's kind of how I remember it being. Actually, I remember when I was in middle school there,
We had 2.
we had two coaches, and I remember the
Yeah.
first day of practice, all we did was hit the 2-man sled. Everybody got in.
Yep.
2 lines, and this is before everybody got weeded out. So it's like 60, 70 kids in a 2-man sled line. Blow the whistle, we just hammer it. Next guy rolls up, those 2 guys, we did that for an hour and a half. And that was it. Like, that's what
Yep.
practice was for like the first week, just hitting 2-man sled. You might have you got 60 guys waiting in the line. You might have got, 10 reps when it was all said and done. But that's a lot for just 2 guys. And then I think, when our coach, when they hired on Coach Leaker, who wound up coaching us in high school, I thought it was pretty neat how they kind of organized it to where the high school coaches and we had to all share the same practice field at the time. Like we
Yeah.
would be done with our practices, had to be done at 5 because that's when the older kids were going to come out, get out of film and stuff, and they were going to hit the field. But for that hour 30, that we were out there, the high school coaches would come out and coach us. And so you're doing the same individual drills by the same coach from grade 7 through 12 if you stuck it around and if that coach stuck it around. And I thought that was a nice switch up. And obviously you get more helping hands out there, get more eyes on kids. And yeah, that was a good switch up to see. And I'm sure other schools out there do it the same way. But yeah, that was to think about just 2 guys doing it. That's wild now.
Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, just think of like giving out equipment,
Yeah.
locker room, just the whole logistics of it. I don't know how 2 people could do it, and I don't know how they did it, but it's crazy. I'm actually one of our assistant coaches who I work with was my middle school coach, and so it's crazy. Again, I've talked about it before with Coach Garner, but it's just crazy for it to flip, and now you're working with them instead of them coaching you.
Man, I can't even
it's
imagine
always-
what because I remember one of the 2 guys that was one of our coaches in middle school before they hired the new coach on that gave him a lot more help. I'd never forget. I can't remember. Coach Peppers, that was his name. Shout out to Coach Peppers.
Pep.
Coach Pep. And I never forget, we had these guys that were always late to practice every day because they're just just walking down it's a little bit of a hike from the old middle school to the practice field. And he said, there they go again, bebopping down to the practice field late. Get your feet chopping up, down. It's like, Oh,
Can't
shout
beat
out,
it. You
shout
can't
out to
beat it.
Coach Pep. But
It's crazy now. So I guess it's the old locker room before the field house was built. You know, the old gray build.
yeah,
That's the visitors' locker room now, or
yeah,
part of it is. The middle school has their own dedicated locker room in the old weight room space of that
that
building.
was much needed. Much
Yeah.
needed.
So, it's kind of logistically, their stuff operates a little more smooth than ours because the school's right here,
Yeah, it's all on one site.
right there. They walk, maybe 30 yards to their practice field versus the high school's across the street on the other side. We have some kids that walk because they're ninth graders that can't drive and their buddy, nobody gives them a ride. I don't know why. So we kind of have to bump practice a little later just to give them time to get over there.
I remember we would all just like hop in the bed of a truck and ride over to practice, and like we're jamming
Yeah.
out to Conway Twitty on the ride there. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, but
Crazy, man.
yeah, I never forget when we were in middle school. Before we had all that, we just basically used the PE storage,
Yep.
chain link fence that was,
And you had
and
like a bag.
we
like
had a bag,
mesh
yeah,
bag.
and you just threw everything in the bag, never washed unless you took it home to get washed. It never got washed. You just throw it all in a mesh bag, throw it back there in the storage pile. Nothing ever got stolen though. I mean,
Nope.
if it did, like we never said anything because we were going to get our feet chopping
Yeah.
because we lost something. Simple times. But man, I've been out here. This is year 6 out here now. And just in the 6 years I've been out here, we've opened up 2 middle schools. And so for a while when we had 3, okay, so the very first year we had just straight 2 middle schools. So it kind of was simple. This middle school fed this one, this middle school fed this one. And then over time, they're building neighborhoods, all this and that crazy growth. So they add a 3rd middle school, and it was still like all of this school goes here, all of this school goes here. But the 3rd middle school, it was like a 60-40 split. And that was kind of weird. You didn't necessarily know if he's supposed to go here, but depending on how the attendance lines change and stuff, he might end up going somewhere else. And then they finally opened up the 4th one, and so now it's straight. These 2 go here, these 2 go here. But each of our middle schools, so we have 2 feeders now. Each of our middle schools have 7th and 8th grade teams. 7th grade A teams, 7th grade B teams, 8th grade A teams, 8th grade B teams. All right, so one middle school's got 4 teams, the other middle school's got 4 teams, and they've got 5 or 6 coaches, I believe, if my math's right off the top of my head, that are in charge of coaching all 4 teams. And so and now they have athletic periods. So like your 7th grade teams might practice in the morning, kind of like at the high school, how our freshmen will practice in the morning. 8th grade practices in the afternoons, or it might be flipped. Who knows? So they do split it up, but man, those guys wear a lot of hats. And so whenever we go and we watch, just like I'm sure you guys go watch middle school games and support the future guys, watching them work logistically, like sometimes is they've got to have 4 copies of depth chart, and the 7th grade teams play on Mondays, 8th grade teams play on Tuesdays. So like you only have 2 games each day, but like you still got to have like double copies of depth chart, double copies of this, that, and the other. And I don't know. So shout out to those guys. They wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, they do.
And trying to coach middle school guys in general, or trying to coach middle school kids in general, like is a tall order anyway. Because some of them miss their first experience with football. They wait till 7th grade to think about playing football. And so you are literally starting from scratch. But do y'all I would imagine y'all try to have them run as much as y'all's base stuff as possible, right?
So we're working on that.
I got you.
Yeah, it hasn't been that way in the past, I guess. The system we're running now is it's like wing tee concepts, I'll say, out of more of a spread formation, a tight spread.
Like a gun tee kind of.
Yeah.
A lot of just pin and pull stuff still.
Yeah, versus our, middle school team is honestly, it's like an air raid, or has been in the past. It's kind of moving.
It's nuts. Y'all slinging the rock? Golly.
Apparently. We're working on it. We're getting there. This is our 3rd year here, and, kind of bridging what used to be in place versus what we're kind of trying to get into place. We're still kind of fixing a lot of those loose ends, but we're getting there. Ideally, it would be the same system, but,
Well, and, most people you always hear, right, whenever there's a changing of the guard and stuff, like that 3rd year, beyond, that's when you really like, that's when it's really like truly your program, your development, the systems you've had in place. So y'all are kind of starting to get to that point and all that. So maybe it'll turn the corner in terms of y'all's development and all that good stuff. Yeah, no, I'm sitting there. I was watching our two middle schools. They actually got to play their last games of the year against each other, and they got to play them at the big stadium. And so I go out there and I'm watching them, and we're trying to go back and forth between both sidelines to try to pump up both sidelines because all of them are going to be our players
Yeah.
in the next year or two. And it's just some of the things you hear on a middle school sideline. There was there was one of our schools was up. I think it was in the B team game, and one of the schools was up by like 3 scores. Like it was like 18-0. Uh,
Mhm.
and this one kid was hollering like, "We got to put so and so at running back. So and so, he's built like Cam Scatterbo." And I'm like, "Buddy, ain't nobody out here built like Cam Scatterbo. Like everybody out here is like 115 pounds." Like,
Yeah.
man, but just like in the
They
minds of kids, they just
they
don't know.
don't know. Yeah. They actually our middle school this year did it was actually a pretty interesting concept or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if they were down a game for the year, somebody had to drop a game, whatever it may be, but they had their probably around our bye week, I think is when it was, but they scheduled a team that, doesn't have a lot of kids that just needed to pick up a game. They had their younger kids, mainly 7th graders, almost play like an exhibition game, like a scrimmage, I guess. I don't know what they technically called it, but their 8th graders were playing that Thursday. They had a game on Wednesday for the younger group, and we were able to go out there and watch it. And so a lot of the 8th graders were just there helping with jerseys on. And it was cool because it gave us a
Yeah.
chance just to talk to them while we're not interrupting the game or something like that. Because it's hard for us to get across the street to the middle school during the school day. We try to go, to the lunch sometimes, eat lunch with them. But talking to those 8th graders, man, I could not teach 8th graders or middle school kids in general. I just
Been there,
couldn't.
done that. I did that for a number of years, man.
It's just, I don't know if I had.
I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade at some point my first kind of few years out. Yeah, it's a wide variety.
I could
Wide
not do it.
variety. Yeah, so I think like age group wise, like, so I taught at some point 6th, 7th, 8th, and then now my class is a lot of juniors and seniors. And
Yeah.
then, obviously coaching, you coach freshmen, 10th grade. So like I've worked with age groups from 6th grade on, and it is amazing how much development happens physically, mentally, and all that
Yeah.
in just a short amount of time. 7 years really, 7 years is really not that long, but they change a bunch over time. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, what you were describing, we actually do that sometimes. If we carry 2 JVs, 2 freshmen, right? If we're playing a school that doesn't have 2 true JVs, maybe they don't have a lot of depth at a certain position or something like that. They don't want to totally split into 2 teams for the night. We might call it a 0 quarter, and our JV2 guys, it's like a 30-minute running clock, and they just
Yeah.
go, and it's like a scrimmage basically, but you get those JV2 guys some work. But then, some of those guys for that other team can then just stay dressed out and play in the JV1 game as well. So we'll do that some, just because again, it's all about getting more reps and trying to keep more guys on the program, keep more guys developing, even if some of them get weeded out or move away or whatever. Like, as long as your numbers, kind of start off big, you still get that good end result, hopefully, by the time they're playing
Mhm.
for you on Fridays. So I don't know. I just wanted to give a big shout out to all the junior high, the middle school coaches out there, because it takes
Doing the Lord's work.
doing the Lord's work, man. So you guys, we don't have to get into it too much. I know y'all made the playoffs.
Our
Made,
season is done.
made the playoffs. Congrats. I know
Yeah.
last night was rough, but I know it was kind of a rough season for you guys, but the fact that y'all you got into the playoffs, right? You got into the dance. You went up against obviously a very, very good team, and just think sometimes that happens, right? And
Mhm.
but yeah, I know the kids probably appreciate all the hard work you guys are putting in this year. And so what's kind of the end process now? Probably equipment check or equipment turn in and stuff coming up.
Yeah, so Monday we got them all coming in for, clean out your lockers. We'll get the equipment turned in. So it's kind of my time to shine now, I guess. So I got to get my spreadsheets ready and check everything in, make sure we got everything. But so we'll do that on Monday, and we'll probably have roughly a month, maybe 3 weeks off completely. And then we'll kind of jump into the after school weights program. But a lot of our kids are at a smaller school. A lot of them are playing other sports, winter sports, wrestling and basketball. So the numbers might be lower during this period, but it's still good for those that don't play another sport. We can kind of get them in there. And especially if they're younger guys, we can kind of, set the tone for the expectations in the off season and, work a little bit extra with them. But that's kind of what we're looking at. It'll be weird on Tuesday, I guess, leaving school at 3:35, whatever it is, coming home. That'll be odd, but I'm sure I can find something to keep you busy.
Yeah, hit you a little nap those first couple days. Get your legs back underneath you.
Might start drinking my hot water during fourth block, so by the time I get
Yeah,
home,
well, don't fall asleep at the wheel now. But you got a longer commute than I do. My
yeah,
commute's only like 3 minutes. I probably could get
Oh.
away with that, but
35 to 40, depending on traffic.
that's a hike.
Yeah, you get used to it, but it's still 3 minutes is nuts. I'd probably wake up at 7:45, roll into school at 7:50 if I lived 3 minutes from the building. But yeah, it's that odd time. I was looking on Twitter, and because it's playoffs in a lot of states or areas, South Carolina it is, and some teams don't make it, and you see a lot of posts about that, like, not depression. It's probably an exaggeration, but you don't have that adrenaline dump on Friday nights anymore. You don't have that constant something to be working on. So it is an adjustment when the season ends, but it's good and bad. You get a little time to recover and spend time with, family or my fiance, the dogs, whatever. But it's the odd time of the year. It always feels, I don't know, dull, I guess.
Yeah, nothing to look forward to on Friday. You're itching for like that, so you're like, is there a game close enough where I can go watch it? Is it a good game? Yeah, I hope it was we had our regular season finale. We did senior night and all that. We actually played our varsity game on a Thursday this past week. And with a win.
Yeah, I got to watch it. I got to stream it.
Oh, you watched the stream?
Nice. Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? So obviously we came out with a big dub. We got a share of the district championship. Had some other things played out differently. We would have been outright champions. But we got a share, got a trophy. Because of our enrollment at the last realignment, we're the number 1 seed for our district in the 6A D2 bracket of the playoffs. And the team that we are co-champions with, because of their enrollment last time, they actually are higher than us, and they go to the 1 seed of the D1 6A bracket. And so pretty interesting. For 5A and below, there's Division 1 and Division 2, and the districts are actually already separated. And so you don't have to do all this splitting once playoffs come. But for 6A, you could be the smallest 6A in your district and be 3,000 less students than the highest enrollment in your district. But come playoff time, if you finish top 4 in your district, you would go to the D2 6A bracket, and those higher enrollment to the 2 schools with the higher enrollments go D1. And so it's a little bit different, but
yeah.
So we clinched our number 1 seed, so we actually get to host a home playoff game this coming week. And
Nice.
but it was a fun Thursday night. I still think we've yet to play our best 4 quarters of football, but we certainly played about 3.5 quarters of good football. This past one, was super proud of the guys. Going against the number 3 offense in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in terms of points and yards and all that. And we held them to just about their season low, I think, if I remember right, or dang near close.
Yeah.
They had kind of a 2-headed monster that was averaging ridiculous numbers. I think we held their stud running back to like 60 yards on 20 carries, and he busted 30 of them on like 1 broken play. So, I mean, we really, trending in the right direction. We just, hopefully keep trending up, and we got a really long playoff run ahead of us, but, just got to take it 1 week at a time. Because you're going to get everybody's best shot. Like, it's win or go home at this point. So,
That's what I'm hoping I can make it out to one of y'all's playoff games. Since we're done, I don't know.
Dude,
So
come to
next
the
week-
home. Come to the home one next week. I don't know.
And then if y'all
After-
win, is it stay at home or do y'all go neutral? Or how
No,
does it
it
work
starts
after that?
going. It starts going neutral sites.
Okay.
So everything's basically negotiable between the head coaches. When it comes to these playoff games, and if you can't agree on something, it usually comes down to a coin flip. Speaking of coin
Yeah.
flips, all right. Last night was crazy. Us playing on Thursday, we got to sit there and just watch streams and keep up on Twitter and stuff of all these other games going on and all the district championship races and playoff jockeying that's going on. And out in Amarillo area, out in the Panhandle and all that in Texas, there was a lot of controversy go on. So one school got in some trouble. They played an ineligible player at some point in the season.
Yikes.
They had to forfeit a certain number of games, like a bunch of games. Well, anyway, because of these forfeits, it created this like 3-way tie for playoff spots.
Yeah.
And so for the last playoff spot, at least. And so it was 3 teams that had to flip a coin, just like in the movie Friday Night Lights. And the winner of those coin tosses gets into the playoffs, gets the
Oh my
4 seed
God.
and goes to the playoffs. So, and here's the kicker. And I sent you the link or whatever if you wanted to read some background. But just like in the movie, I can't remember, in a movie they met at a diner or something, right? They did
Yeah.
These head coaches met with the district executives and things like that. They met at a gas station out in far West Texas, and so just the picture and the video and all that's funny because it's just this huddle of people at pump 2 of some Valero station out there, and like depending on how these coin flips go, 2 guys' seasons are done. One guy's going to the playoffs, and
That's insane.
dude, it's wild, man. It's wild stuff.
Hold on. First of all, just look at.
How nervous do you got to be?
Is this a coach? What is it? He looks like he was just a bystander. He's like, I'll mediate this thing for you. I got you. Let me.
He was in there buying his cans from the.
Wait, so they each flipped a coin,
They're all flipping.
and the one person who has the different side
Yes.
wins.
And that's what I took it as.
What if they all
Like-
3 have the same? They just flip again, I
I guess
guess.
they flip again.
What if 2? Well, then 1 would. Okay, that's interesting. That dude's pretty brave.
Hey, man.
Watch this.
I love it. I love it.
Dang, somebody threw like a medallion.
All right. Pause it. So here's the kicker. The school that won the toss is the team that had to forfeit games in the season.
Oh,
Yeah. So anyway, another little tidbit about the video right there. Did you notice, you go to your pump of gas, is it like Taylor Swift or something playing in the background of this
there's
super tense
yeah.
moment? Man,
yeah, it's just like the gas station soundtrack just bumping in the background. Some free advertising for whatever company this is.
oh man, yeah, out there pump. What was that? Pump 12 at the Valero, somewhere in West Texas, man. But that's about as Friday Night Lights, Texas high school football as it gets, right there.
This dude's he's emotional about it. I can't figure out who the coaches are. I guess that's one.
Man, that's got to be a crappy feeling, right? I mean, your team did all it could, right? And then it comes down to coin flips, which is just sheer luck. I mean,
Crying all the time. Buddy, they already saw it on Twitter.
I was like, this was on the rounds on Twitter. We talked about Amarillo when we did our mascots episode back in the spring. They have what is their mascot? It's something awesome. The Sandys, maybe?
I could spell Amarillo.
AMA.
I doubt it's that one. Sandy's?
The Sandys. Yeah. All right. The Amarillo Sandys. Solid mascot.
Yeah, that's
that-
pretty good.
That's Friday Night Lights right there, man.
Yeah, that is. It reminds me of the episode where they go out to the random field in like a corn patch, and the other coach is like, I don't know why they went there. Maybe it was a neutral site kind of thing, and the other coach was like causing all this ruckus about it. And anyway, they ended up playing it there, and Dylan won, of course. But that's just what it reminds me of.
Was it the game where everybody just cuts on their headlights and they play a
Yeah.
football game?
Yeah,
Now that's wild right there. So the first round game we logged in, it's at home, and then all the subsequent games, unless the head coaches want to do coin flips and things like that for home field advantage. But usually we just agree on neutral sites. One, because the travel situation.
Yeah.
You lose a coin flip, and now you're driving 4 hours to my second year down here. I think we had to go to the Houston area for a first round game, and then it got delayed with weather when we got down there. So we got back to school at 4 a.m. the next morning. We had lost, so I had to coach a basketball tournament about 4 hours later. But so usually you just go with those neutral sites. So, and it depends on who wins in that other bracket, right? That we might have to come across. So it could be a neutral site that's a nice 25 minutes away. If the other team wins, it could be a neutral site that's an hour away or something like that. Maybe Waco area. I don't know. That's above my pay grade. So I just get told where to go or where we're going, and make sure all the stuff gets there and all that good stuff. But
I might have to come out and try to see one, because I've never gotten to watch one at y'all's place. I've never gotten to watch one at all.
You got to,
because we're always in season.
We've gotten to host. We've been fortunate. My first year, we hosted a playoff game. It did not work out well for us. We came across a dang good football team, had a quarterback going to SMU. So that one didn't work out. Atmosphere was amazing until the game got a little out of hand. But then second year, I believe we went down to Houston area. And then the third year, we got to host one again, and a team from the Houston area had come up our way. And I give shout out to our community support and our parents all the time. We had a heck of a season that year. I think we were 8-2 or 9-1 going into the playoffs. I can't even remember now. And defense, we were just lighting people up, holding them to ridiculously low averages and things like that. And so we get to host this team coming down from the Houston area. And like once you got off I-20, you just started seeing these like warning posters put along the road with the skull rabbit. And like as you're getting up to school, and then once you're in the parking lot, turn to the parking lot, it is just like funeral signs and things like that. Because the whole theme we were going with was it's somebody's funeral tonight, and blackout. And the guy that does our videos, hype videos, and all that kind of stuff, he did this insane production with all the red lights and coffins. And so this team gets off a bus ride from 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours away, however long it was. It was cold, right? Because it started to get to that time of year. And then they get off the bus and they're sitting there watching that video play before they run out of their little inflatable deal. And you can just see the look on their face. They're just like, oh. And, because the highlights are just like, we were just out there destroying dudes. Like we had a streak of knocking out usually the other team's best player. Like we just got a great shot on them, and all those clips put together. And sure enough, like the first or second series of the game, the quarterback's rolling out, and one guy gets the kid stood up, and then the linebacker that we ended up having going A&M just goes and obliterates him. Dude's helmet does like a 360 around his head. I destroyed him. Like it was ridiculous. I mean, it was awesome. Kid did not come back after that hit, but
he's in the protocol.
We ended up winning like something ridiculous, 45-15 or something stupid. But man, that was fun. That was the last one we got to host. Last year the drive wasn't too bad, but hopefully it's the first game of a nice run for us. We just got to take it 1 week at a time and handle our business. But yeah, come on out, dude. You got to see the home game.
I might have to. Last time we were out there rented a Tesla, that was pretty fun. So I might just have to do all that over again. That was pretty cool.
Oh, man, we can pick you up from the airport.
Yeah, but I get to drive around in a Tesla. That's just fun.
Valid. That's valid. Yeah, we got the train
Tesla
that comes.
Drive me.
We got the train that comes through town. You just hop on an Amtrak and ride the train.
I've never done that either, so that's also an option.
Get you a sleeper cab. I don't know what's cheaper nowadays. I know with the shutdown and all that, probably don't need to go to an airport.
It's probably
a little sketchy.
Dicey. Yeah.
So senior night, got ahead of myself talking about playoffs, but senior night, it's good because obviously you want to recognize all the seniors that have put a ton of time and stuff in it. But I mean, I think we can all agree, like it does throw off the rhythm of, we did ours before the game.
Yeah, it's a
Kind of
lot of
throws off
emotion to then
a
get
lot of
back into.
emotion. You got family in town that maybe this is the first time they're seeing this particular senior because they live in another state, and like
Yeah,
it's just a lot of it's outside of the norm, right? So that's just something you're hoping your kids handle well. There's a little change to the schedule, but to throw another wrench in the chain, we did a pep rally, right? Jack, we did a black light pep rally.
what? How
Black
do you
light
get?
pep rally.
What do y'all have, like black lights in your gym ceiling? Like,
So
how does that work?
so our student council is they go above and beyond. They I don't know what they had in the budget, but they spent a good chunk. We had a whole DJ who had his own system of shooting black light out into a dark
Wow.
gym, right? And so then all our high steppers and band and cheerleaders and all that, they're wearing the stuff that goes neon and all that when the black light comes on. And student council kids are passing out glow sticks by the dozen to just.
That's pretty cool.
And then the lights were off as we're kind of all filing in, and they kind of dimmed them a little bit to make sure everybody got seated and everything was situated, supervision's in place. And then they did this big countdown. And as soon as the lights went black, all these glow sticks go up in the air. Kids start hooting and hollering. Like, it was actually a pretty neat scene.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. First time I've ever got to experience one of those, but it's just something else, right? It's something else that you're worried might
Throw them off.
These are high school kids, and you need them to execute because we're playing in the biggest game of the year at this point. And so we go and we go through the pep rally, go through our usual pregame routine, and we're down there. I think we had just done walk the field, so there's about a 15-minute, 20-minute layover between walk the field and when the whole team comes out for the full team stretch. And so I'm out there just kind of waiting on the rest of the guys to come out, watching the other team specialists warm up and stuff like that. And somebody comes up and said that apparently there was a wasp infestation in up in the press box. And so now it's like black light pep rally, senior night, wasp infestation. Apparently somebody went up there and sprayed all the wasp spray and it got all over the glass. They didn't wipe the glass. So like I look up and you can just see fog where like this solution is all over the windows. And you're just like, we joked that we should rename our stadium Stranger Things Field.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen like any given Friday. But golly, it was, oh man, I almost forgot the pep rally. I had a whole story to go. I go up to where my duty spot was. And of course, it's in the nosebleeds. I'm like in the top row of this thing. And I see this fella. He's down there. He's got his nose in a book, just reading his heart out. It's a black light pep rally. He's reading his heart out. And we're in there. It's lights are out. Band's going. Kids are screaming, all this and that. And he looks up and he says, "What's all this for?" I said, "There's a football game, man." He said, "Nice, nice. When is it?" I said, "It's tonight." "Awesome. That's awesome." They kind of just sat there staring for a second. And he said, "What time's it start?" And I was like, 7 o'clock, bud. Like, I'll see you there. And he's like, "Yeah, right on. Let's go." And they just kind of sat there. 3 minutes later, AM or PM?
AM, buddy. I'll see you at 7 a.m.
It was 7
tonight.
o'clock this morning, man. You missed it, actually.
Yeah. He was really into that book, I guess.
He was logged into that book. But I think I saw him having a good time later on once they did all the games.
Good for him because there's probably not a lot of kids reading now. I feel like I don't ever see a kid reading.
Man, unless it's off season, I really don't read that much. Like,
yeah,
I figured out how to get if you have a public library card, there's actually some app I can't remember, but you get the books for free. And so I was using my wife's Kindle, getting these books. So I was reading a good bit there for a while, but obviously once football starts, I don't have time for that. But yeah, man, it's a dying art. Usually I read stuff that's 140 characters or less. But
yeah, the last book, is it Libby? Is that the app?
Yeah, that's the app I use.
But yeah, I think the last book I read was Mike Leach's autobiography.
Swing Your Sword?
Or memoir, yeah.
I think I'm on hold for that one. I actually really wanted to read that one.
He passed away, what was that, 2 years ago now? 3 years maybe?
2 or 3 years. I mean, it's been probably a few years now.
And about that time, naturally that, he's in your mind because that event just happened. And so I'm looking it up, trying to buy the book. I bought it and the order went through. It was on Amazon. order went through, but then, I get an email like a week later that says, yeah, it's actually on back order, which makes sense because, probably everybody's buying it since his passing. But then it took like months for that book to get here. Finally got here, read it, and it's great. I highly recommend it. It's definitely just Mike Leach-esque, like the way it's written. It's like you're living in his mind, but highly recommend it. It is a good book, but doesn't top not Rocket Boys. Yeah, Rocket
Yeah,
Boys.
it's Rocket Boys, October Sky, right?
Yeah,
dude?
the book that Homer Hickam,
Yeah, Homer Hickam, man.
October Skies based upon, but great book.
Well,
love that book.
Now that maybe once y'all get all the equipment check in and stuff, you'll be able to dive back in your studies.
I doubt it. I'll probably sleep for a little bit and then
Yeah, for sure. Man,
maybe
I
next
always once
2
the
weeks,
season's
maybe.
over, I always go through like a big detox. Like I cut out all caffeine. I try to cut just
I ain't
all
doing
that
all that
out.
now.
I try to just totally purge just the abuse that I put my body through during football season, just with the lack of sleep and all that.
Wake Forest just beat Virginia.
Oh man, I didn't even see how the Clemson game ended. I had it pulled up here.
They won. They beat them
10
24-10,
final.
I think.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, they beat them pretty handedly. And then Louisville tied with a minute left, 23-23. LSU's down 11 to Bama, start of the fourth. So some tight ones, relatively tight ones. LSU's, 2-score game, but Wake Forest just,
man, the ACC. Are they going to get? I guess they get the automatic, right? The champions got to get in.
Yeah, if they win, and the ACC is moving to top 2 this year instead of the divisions.
Yeah.
But how's that not PI? Anyway,
Well,
they stopped them
man,
on 4th.
We're getting to that point. About time for the team of the week. You ready with the spin wheel?
I sure am. Let's get it pulled up. There we are.
All right. Here we go. It's everybody's favorite moment. The 4th and Ward official team of the week wheel. It is always brought to you by Gridiron Spice Company. Sorry, guys, I got to plug it. GridironSpiceCo.com, where you can tackle your taste buds. Use the code 4th and Ward, the number 4, THANDWARD. I recommend getting that 5-wide bundle. It's all 5 blends that we got, really big jars. $55. It ships for free. You throw that code in there, it knocks off 10%, still ships for free. So you're getting all the blends from Gridiron Spice for right at $10 a jar, which nowadays is a heck of a deal for, a big old jar, a season like that. It's going to last you a good while. So be sure to check that out. We got all of our teams loaded up here. If you haven't commented yet, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you might be watching or listening, submit your name. The odds get worse every week. We're adding teams every week. The odds are not in your favor if you continue to wait. So let's go ahead and spin it, Jack.
Here we go. We're going to go.
One more.
Yeah.
Kirkwood
in Missouri.
High School out of Missouri. All right, I don't know much about Missouri geography. I know the Ozarks. That's Missouri, right? Branson.
Yeah. So
that area.
Start...
I heard it's kind of like Myrtle Beach.
8-1.
Oh, solid season. Well, I guess 8-1. So do they have one more regular season game still?
No, it looks like they've already played their first playoff game.
Oh, wow. Maybe something happened with there. You might have to click over tabs, but maybe something happened where they only played, I guess, 8 games.
Let me get this up for you.
To get my glasses out.
So 8-1, and it says they started the bracket already. So
and they rolled whoever they played.
So they had a first round bye.
Okay. So
so they're already in week 2 of the playoffs.
Hold up now. So Kirkwood in round 3. So they have buys in Missouri high school playoffs. Very interesting. All right.
They must be the top seeds get a bye or something.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, you got a record like that, you were probably Kirkwood. I wonder what the enrollment is here. What size school we're looking at? Yeah, again, I don't know much about Missouri, but that's why we do team of the week, Jack. Right? We talked about this.
That's why we do it.
We're trying to broaden our horizons.
Probably see 11-man football. looks like it's from their state organization. Class 5. I don't know what
Their
that is in
version of
Missouri.
5A, maybe?
Class 5 District 2. Well, let me fix this so you can see where I'm going. There we go. So now you can see if I open a tab. All right, let's see what that looks like in Missouri. I think it's being a pain. Why is it not? All right, my thing's messing up on me. But anyway, Pioneers. Let's just see what that jerseys or anything.
Yeah, let's see
like.
what this combo is looking like.
Retro there. That looks like an old picture.
Please tell me that's an older picture. I do not like the shoulder, the solid colored shoulders.
Well, based on that
That's
Revolution.
Yeah, that's a Peyton Manning Revolution. Hell yeah, that's got to be a throwback.
So looks like Nike. That's the top with an Axiom. So we know that's recent.
All right, so we're Nike now.
This is 2024.
That's a good clean look right there. That's got to be their current ones.
Football stadium's looking pretty good.
Yeah. I'd imagine this is from the home side, just based off the logo and the size of the other bleachers over there. So Kirkwood Pioneers, is that their logo with Davy Crockett?
Yeah.
Look at that's awesome, dude. If they could have if the helmet just had like the Davy Crockett tail, like
that'd be
kind of sick.
Check that out. So they got a whole. That's a nice looking home side.
Yeah, I like that concourse right there that they got up top. It looks
that's solid.
It looks like it's built into the school a little bit too, or is that like I guess an athletics building maybe?
It looks like it's kind of. I'm trying to find an overhead. Maybe this. It's like all their athletics fields are right off the back of the school. So
that's a nice setup. You don't have to go like you said. Y'all got to walk across the street to get to y'all's practice field.
Yeah,
bobbing and weaving traffic. Be like that kid I was telling you about. They got hit by the car walking to school. Speaking of which,
they got a black alternate.
Oh, that's clean.
Look at that helmet. The Davy Crockett.
That might be one of my more favorite helmets. So for the folks listening, it is a silhouette of Davy Crockett wearing the coonskin hat. But it's all right. So it's like a red stencil, Jack. Is that how you describe it?
Yeah, like a red outline.
Yeah, and then it's on a black helmet, red face mask with the black Nike jerseys. Good, just traditional looking jersey there. That's a clean helmet.
Yeah, that's nice.
Is there a regular red one?
Looks like they go with the K. Yeah, they got the Crockett here.
Dude, the Crockett that's got to be your all-time logo right there.
Right? That is solid, man.
Heck yeah. Well, dude, I know who I'm rooting for out there in Missouri now, then. Kirkwood High School.
Yeah.
With one of the coolest helmets I've seen since we started doing the podcast. Shout out to the Pioneers up there. But
let's see if I can find an enrollment.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the one thing I'm kind of wondering about is what size school we're looking at here.
Trying out Gemini, we're cheating on ChatGPT. All right, so 1,700 kids in the 23-24 school year.
All right, so yeah, it's a good. So for Texas, that'd be like a 5A, 5A D maybe. Yeah, probably up there, maybe D2. But okay.
Student teacher ratio 13-1. That's crazy.
It's a nice ratio.
Yeah,
really nice ratio.
So that's a $3.5 million stadium they got built there.
That's a nice stadium they got up there. Davy Crockett be proud. Well, shout out to our team of the week, episode 33, the Kirkwood Pioneers, in round 3 of the Missouri High School playoffs. Yeah, shout out to Nestor Rivera on Spotify for dropping that comment off. Guys, be sure to drop your comments. Let us know where you're listening from. We can track where folks are downloading us from, Jack. I was just kind of scrolling through all the locations that we've been getting listeners from. It's kind of wild. Actually, let me roll through it here real quick.
Are more crazy international ones?
Yes. Yeah, we're pretty good. Yeah, I think we're still in 48 states here in America.
We picked up Bangladesh or something.
Hang on, let me just rattle this off for y'all real quick, because we're blown away by it, guys. We really appreciate it. And we just hope you guys are enjoying it. We'll keep doing it as long as we're getting Jack. All right, I'm just going to rattle it off in order here. Okay. So obviously the U.S., mainly where the folks listening from. Shout out to good old red, white, and blue. In second place, Brazil. All right. Yep. Third place, Germany. And then we're going in order from here. All right. Canada, Singapore, Australia, the Netherlands, India, Argentina, Venezuela, Switzerland, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, United Kingdom, Ireland, Mexico, Nepal, Poland, Russia, South Africa, Algeria, Spain, France, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Kenya, Norway, Portugal, Saudi Arabia, El Salvador, and we have one listener in Turkey. Shout out to Turkey and all the other international states, our international countries, guys. We're blown away. We're two dudes from small town, South Carolina, coaching, teaching, just living our lives, enjoying our experiences. And we're just happy that y'all are along for the journey. So we really appreciate it, y'all.
How many people do you think that, like, how many countries would like number? How many is that?
I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
a
there's only,
ridiculous. It's a
there's what?
ridiculous amount for two guys from the town of Williamston.
So is that our next goal, is to hit every country? Because there's only just under 200 countries in the world, sovereign states, however you want to define it.
We got to
So
get South Dakota first. Somebody call somebody in South Dakota and tell them to check us out.
yeah,
But
I'm about to
nah,
just set a VPN to South
Yeah.
Dakota and act like I did it. But
we're appreciative, guys. We're super humbled. Like, I don't know, never would have thought it. We were just wanting to get on here and hash out old stories like we used to do in the locker room growing up. And we're just blown away by the sport, and we really appreciate it, y'all. Thanks for listening again.
stay golden.